Okay guys, good morning. It is Tuesday, March something. Time for the morning weigh-in, which is pretty much the only thing that gets me out of bed because like I'm kind of like excited, especially on days like yesterday where I was fairly low calorie, because then I think like, you know, it's always an opportunity for a low weigh-in. $198.2. This is not a low weigh-in for me, but you know, it may as well be. I was 198.6 the day before, and the lowest I've been is 197.6, I believe. But that wasn't like that was a low weigh-in, but that was like due to drastic reasons. It was because the day before I literally like forgot to eat because it was just such a busy day. I think I accidentally ended up eating like 2,200 calories, which is like legit below my target of 2,400, 2,450 currently. And I think I walked at least 8 to 10 kilometers that day. I was around the city. It was just a busy day. So there's a reason it was like the lowest weigh-in I've had by far so far during this cut, but it wasn't due to like good progression that I should have had. It was due to like drastic effects. You know, that was almost like too low. This is good. You know, we lost 0.4 pounds from yesterday. It's okay. I want to keep losing like decimal points of poundage every day. None of this crazy like drop 2 pounds in one day and you know. So I just gotta quickly get ready. I don't have any breakfast. I have been doing intermittent fasting so far. A lot of people have been asking me about intermittent fasting. I will make a video about this in the future. I want to do a full, you know, like informational video because this is a very popular topic. A lot of YouTubers have popularized it. You know, I mean, the Hodge twins had that whole fasting twins like a year or two ago, and that was the first big exposure to, you know, the whole concept of it, I think. Kino Body's obviously been talking about it a lot. That's like his thing. And I'm trying it out, and I feel it's just convenient for me, especially in the morning. I don't have time to make food, and I'm usually not hungry in the morning. I go to work, I have to answer all these emails and stuff. I'm kind of like, the first few hours of the day are always very busy, so it's just very easy for me. And that's the key thing: convenience, easiness. I don't necessarily see some crazy, you know, magic physiological reason as to why intermittent fasting would make you lose weight. It's not like just because you're eating, you know, in like this 6 to 8 hour period that suddenly that you're allowed to eat 3,500 calories and you'll still lose weight. Like, hey, go eat Burger King like 7 times, you know, in that 7 hour period or whatever, and you'll be okay. It's not the case. It's just a convenience factor. It's convenient for me. It may be convenient for a lot of people out there who have like busy lifestyles with work. It's just easy for me to do. Easy, but that's essentially the only thing I'm trying to get at in terms of benefits to intermittent fasting, at least from what I have read and from what I have experienced. Okay guys, so I just left, and by the way, that is my apartment right there, and I am all the way at the top of the second floor. I think that may be it, or that one, I don't know. Yeah, I don't have much of a view, but it's nice because I never have to carry up groceries, so find the positive in everything. Yes, no, maybe so. And just a short walk away is the CN Tower, and there's people flying by everywhere. Alright guys, welcome to Toronto, the biggest city in Canada, and you know, it's pretty big overall.
It's like a little version of New York, but I like it because, you get that big city feeling, but you can walk anywhere in like 20 minutes. Either way, so for my work days, it gets very busy in the morning. Literally, I come in from at 8:30, and then I won't get hungry until like 11 o'clock or something because I'm just, I'm so busy. I've got so much stuff to do. I usually have a cup of coffee, just, helps me, stay awake, and also it really curbs my appetite. But this is a very common lunch. I eat out a lot, and I love this. This is like Greek food. I always get double chicken, then I get some rice, and then there's a little bit of fatty sauce on it, and then I have some salad on the side. So it's great because you have all three food groups, and then I have a Sprite Zero. 56 grams of protein coming mostly from chicken, which is great because I got 2 servings of that. 26 grams of fat coming mostly from, that sauce. But to be honest, this is a fairly conservative estimate. It's probably closer to around 20. 82 grams of carbs. It was actually 60 grams in my fitness pal, but I felt that was a little low, so I went in there and manually adjusted it. 790 calories, which works out to about 1/3 of my day's total caloric intake.
Okay guys, back from work. I have a little bit of time until Jordan gets here, and then we're gonna go hit, I don't know what she's doing. I'm doing legs. But in the meantime, there's this cool thing which I've been checking out. It's like another social media app. It's called OneSet. I don't know if you guys can see here. I have to do that thing that like all those like makeup YouTubers and stuff do where they have to like cover the hand so it focuses. Either way, so there's a couple other people who have already gotten on this. I've been hearing a lot about it from Obese to Beast, the online coach. I think Tim Rodriguez Fitness did they talked about it. Pretty much it's kind of like an alternative to Instagram in a way, but it's a lot more centered towards fitness. In that way, I mean, it's only fitness. It's similar, but it's got a couple of cool concepts. For example, there's this whole concept of like communities. I don't know if you guys can see it. I have to do that thing again. But yeah, so you can have like your own account. So like I can do, there's an online coach, or there's like Obese to Beast, but then you can also have like a community, which will be kind of like almost like a forum board or something, where it's like, it'll be like, online coach has like the campus, Masthetics has like the Masthetic Legion. So, it's kind of cool because it's like, you don't you can post your own stuff, but then there could be a community where you post your stuff and then people on your team can go and post stuff there too. So I opened one up and, I already got a photo up there. I don't know if you guys can see. It's from my little Flash Day video, which should be out soon. I'll be talking about that later in the video. But yeah, part of the reason why I'm looking into other stuff is because I don't know if you guys have known about this new thing that Instagram may be doing, keyword meaning maybe. The way that Instagram works right now, if I follow 100 people, any of those 100 people puts up a photo and they put it up 10 minutes ago and I check it now, chances are I'm gonna see it regardless of who it is. If they put up a photo 2 days ago, I may not see it because I have to scroll through a bunch of stuff. What they're considering doing is pretty much making it not chronological, but making it like performance based. So only like posts which get the most views or likes or something like that, they are the ones who get thrown at you, and posts which may have come earlier, so like literally 10 minutes ago, but if they're not performing as well, they may just drift off into the background and they're not gonna go onto everyone's feeds. That's a big problem for smaller YouTubers, Instagram, or social media people like myself, like a lot of other people on Instagram, like everyone I've been following, they're medium sized. They're kind of freaking out about this because they're thinking like, this is really gonna inhibit our growth. It's pretty much gonna make it easier for big people to get bigger and stay big, and make it very small, very difficult, that is, for smaller people to get to that bigger level. It's annoying because that's actually what Facebook did. Some of you guys may not know this. You may have like 1,000 Facebook followers or whatever, but if you put out a post, it doesn't go to all 1,000 of them, which is ridiculous because you guys may be thinking like, if I follow you, shouldn't I see it? Not always. Again, it's based on performance. I always get messages from Facebook being like, hey, do you want to promote this post for $7 to reach, more people? And I don't understand like how they're pretty much saying like, please give us money so we can, take your post and send it to the people who are already following you. It's just insane. So I really hope that Instagram doesn't go the same route, because in my opinion, Facebook sucks as a social media. If Instagram does that, we're gonna be looking for alternatives like, OneSet, which may be, a viable option. Yeah, I really like the way that YouTube is done, where it's like they make their money off of just, advertisements, as opposed to like, pay us to reach your own followers. Like, either way guys, I'm gonna go and have a pre-workout meal, and I'll show you guys an example of what it is. I think I'm just gonna have a piece of fruit and some water. I talk about this a lot, but like, I love fruit because so many times for pre-workouts, yeah, you can have supplements, yeah, you can have like, caffeine, nitrous oxide, there's so many options, but those are all stimulants which pretty much just facilitate the process of, getting more ATP into your muscles, ATP being pretty much a byproduct, essentially it's energy which comes from metabolism of foods, aka carbohydrates, and that's great that you're, you know, speeding that up. But sometimes instead of trying to speed up the process, why don't you just get actual carbohydrates? And I know that if you're on a low carb diet, that's completely fine. That is the case for me. I've been dieting for a while now. But, you know, have some fruit, and obviously water will help this process. There's a whole, you know, biology thing that goes into it. Water is used in the electron transport chain. You know, you need oxygen, you need this. And there's 100 different things, which I'm not going to go into here. But, you know, pre-workouts, absolutely awesome. I use them myself, but never underestimate what pre-workouts do is help facilitate the process of using carbs. If you don't have those, what's the point? So I love to have some fruit. It's a slow digesting, time release, you know, source of energy. So you're not going to get that sugar rush and crash, despite what you guys might think, because, you know, you think fruit, you think sugary substances. That's not actually the case. It's very low on the glycemic index. So you're going to get that nice time release of energy, which I like. So take this and...
All right, guys, I wanted to do some commentary this time. Just talk about a few things which I feel are very important regarding this workout and regarding me in general. Getting back into training whilst on a cut, and specifically kind of like bodybuilding. So I know I've been doing powerlifting style training for a long time now. And by the way, this is me just warming up with one plate. Usually that's the way I do it. First, I'll warm up the muscle, then I'll get into some mobility, some stretching, and then I'll continue with the warm up going for example, 2-3 plates. I feel that jumping into stretching and mobility and all those things is kind of, you know, it's fine completely, but in some ways I feel it's counterproductive because your muscle hasn't really warmed up. That's why I feel it's great to literally just do the bar, maybe do one plate, maybe even do like 5 minutes of cardio. Just get the blood moving in there before you actually get into this kind of stretching and stuff. It's almost like you have to wake up your muscles before you wake up your muscles with stretching. Either way, but getting back on topic, things are going to be changing a little bit, but to be honest, it's so much for the better because I miss training like a bodybuilder. This means, like I mentioned in my last informational video, which if you guys haven't seen, go check it out. But I am increasing the frequency, and I am also changing my set structure and rep structure to focusing a lot more on slightly higher reps and slightly less volume. So for example, in this case, this is sets of 8. I still believe going a little bit lower on your compound lifts in terms of your reps. That's why, you know, 8 to 10 reps max for about 3 sets on heavier compound lifts. But for my other lifts, I would have no problem going as high as 4 sets of 12. But the key thing I want to reiterate here is that we are no longer doing any of that crazy stuff with 10 sets of 3, 7 sets of 5, you know, 8 sets of 4. That was fine. That was very productive. I feel it's imperative for powerlifting purposes to get under the bar, under heavy weight, and just keep doing it over and over again, and getting that volume through number of sets as opposed to a number of reps. Well, now we've kind of switched back. All right, guys, this leads me into another topic which I want to talk about, and it's very important right now because I'm in this transitionary period between a bulk, a powerlifting off-season, and a cut. So a lot of times you guys ask me questions related to how can I minimize muscle loss during a diet, during a prolonged period of caloric and carbohydrate depletion. Well, there's 2 things which I think are absolutely imperative, and I want to touch upon them without going into a full informational video with resources and, you know, like a whiteboard. But if you guys want that, let me know in the comments below and I can do a full, you know, like 20-minute video on this topic. But from a simplistic standpoint, the 2 things you need to do is A, provide nutrients, and B, stimulate. So provide nutrients means you have to have adequate protein intake, but not just adequate, we're talking a little bit higher. So during the off season, you can get away with having as little protein as, you know, 0.8, perhaps even 0.7 grams of protein per pound of body weight. You didn't need to have as much as you do now in the on season when you have to have, we're talking 1.0, 1.1, perhaps even 1.2 grams of protein. There's a couple of reasons behind this. One is purely that protein is a lot more satiating, which means you're going to be a lot fuller. And another reason is because your body is much more, it's much easier for it to start using protein, incoming amino acids, you know, and metabolizing them into glucose because you are out of carbohydrates. It needs alternative sources. So because it's burning that up, it's very important that you get extra protein. It's almost like a little cushion so that doesn't happen. So you always have adequate protein intake. And the final thing is simply stimulate by lifting hard. Now, lifting hard doesn't mean necessarily lifting heavy, but it means that you have to keep training at a level which is intense for you at whatever strength level you may be at currently. Okay guys, this is my second big meal. This is a dinner. Jordan and I, we went out and we got some sushi. Not all you can eat because there's no way I could, like spare that many calories. I actually once tried to count how much calories all you can eat sushi was, and it legit came out to like 1,500, 2,000. That's not the case here. Either way, this is a chicken teriyaki bento box. The chicken was, I believe, thigh, so it was dark meat, so it was a little bit higher in fat. Not that great, but it's okay. We got some dumplings. So far, you guys can tell that there's a lot of carbs, a lot of fat, but again, because I'm only having like 2 big meals throughout the day, I could allot that into my diet. So that's what I want to kind of show you guys here, that, it's a balanced diet. We're getting all different food groups, and it's not necessarily 100% clean. It's not necessarily 100% dirty. As long as you factor all these things in. If you factor in the teriyaki sauce, if you factor in the fact that you got dark meat, which is a little bit fatter, if you factor in the fact that, you got some rice, which, by the way, guys, I did not eat fully. This is just a good example of how you can still go out, how you can still enjoy meals, how you can still live your life. Go out with your girlfriend, go out with your family, go out with whoever you want, eat, as long as you factor it in, which I did here, guys. I actually counted every single piece of food I ate in MyFitnessPal. It came out to 948 calories, but that's okay because as long as you count it, you can eat it.
Hey guys, so it is about 10:41, and Jordan,
I don't want to be on camera.
Okay, fine. And we're just doing work. We're not exactly too exciting, and it's been like this for a couple hours.
We're having an editing party.
We're having an editing party. She's working on a video. Jordan is currently in a contest prep for her first ever bikini show. So if you guys haven't seen that, go now! Yeah. So guys, I am working on this video, and I've been working on this for a little bit of a while. Little hint, bigger hint, here's the actual video. I'm still really getting new to like some of these advanced video editing softwares. So for those of you guys that don't know, the 2 biggest ones when it comes to PCs, not Macs, is Adobe Premiere Pro and Adobe After Effects. Now Premiere Pro I'm still getting used to, and that one's really complicated. After Effects is kind of more for graphical stuff. So Premiere Pro is just like cut clips together music. After Effects is like when you have like lightning and kind of like all these cool graphics and designs. And there's this one that I'm kind of following along. There's like a tutorial video, and it's really awesome. But the thing is, it's made for very, very tiny clips. So we're legit talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 second clips. So I'm doing this stuff frame by frame by frame, and it's kind of annoying, but that's how you end up with really cool stuff. So let's show a little bit of this. So if you could actually see the screen. There's some lighting going on here. This should be released in the upcoming video, but I actually have to adjust it
God, seriously?
by frame. I'm just going pressing page down, and I'm doing it frame by frame. So I'll probably be sitting here for the next 30 minutes just to get this 4 or 5 seconds of footage, but it's all gonna be worth it in the end. So if you guys like this video, and leave me a comment or a like. And please, because this takes forever. Hey guys, so my final meal today will be a very simple protein shake. Now, I've already got some water in there with some flavor drops, just like some meal. I used to put in juice, but carbohydrates, sugar, I'm starting to cut that out during this cut. So it's literally just water, flavoring, and then some whey protein and some creatine. Absolutely okay and helpful on a bulk and on a cut, and in some ways even more so on a cut, because if your strength is going down from lack of carbohydrates, well, through the long, list of how everything works, one of the things that carbohydrates are required for is to facilitate ATP transfer to your muscles and reuptake of phosphate. Point is, ATP equals energy. Carbs are used to facilitate that. Creatine can do it too, so essentially it's like the next best thing. So I decided to get breast implants over the weekend.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours.
Since she's been dieting for a long time, I'm just starting, so I'm still okay. I'm like, you know what, I could eat this, I could not, I'll survive. She's just give me food above oxygen. So babe, what are you looking at?
This is what I do before bed. I look at pictures of food.
That's it, guys. That's it. It's how people say food porn? It's legit. Yeah, and I'm having a snack. I'm having, this is a pear And in orange, I saved some carbs for me at the end of the day, and I would like to spend those, like allocate those carbs on nothing else but fruit, just like legit, especially on a cart. You guys know how much I love fruit, but especially when you're on a cut, it just tastes like that much better, and it's just the best food ever. So that is it, guys. Tomorrow I have to wake up in about 6.5 hours and start this whole process again.
All right, guys, so I finished off the day at 2,401 calories, just 1 calorie over my daily target. My fat was a little bit over, probably from all that stuff I ate at sushi. My carbs and protein were a little bit under, which is why I kind of canceled out. My fiber was actually higher than what's shown on screen. It's just that some of the food I ate did not actually have the proper fiber intake inputted into my FitnessPal. Either way, so 2.88 pounds weight loss per week as of now, if you average it out. And guys, this is one of the things that I've always talked about, and I do this for myself, I do this for my clients. I feel it's so important to always be tracking where you are and where you are going for two reasons. Number one, because you're a lot more analytical, and because this way you'll never, run into issues in terms of weight loss. And if you do, you know that now's the time to adjust my macronutrients. So many people have messaged me and they're like, hey man, my weight hasn't, moved in 3 days. Should I cut my carbs? I'm like, dude, 3 days is nothing. Your body fluctuates like a couple pounds like every morning to night, just from things like water weight, from things like what's in your stomach, from this to that. So I feel it's so important to track yourself and then average out your weights on a weekly basis and then make recommendations or analyze once you have a lot more data. This is something that I find so imperative for myself because A, it's analytical, and B, because it is so motivating because you actually know that I actually went up in weight today. Like I'm not doing too good at, am I screwing this up? No, you're not, because in the short run, yeah, it may look like that, but in the long run, that is not the case. And in the long run, that's all that matters. Your graph, if you look at it, which I will show right about now, you're gonna see that it's kind of up and you're gonna have ups and you're gonna have downs, but as long as the initial, the overall trajectory is towards your end goal, that's all that matters. I don't care if you had like a low weigh-in or if you had a high weigh-in the other day. That's not what's important. The only thing that matters is the overall trajectory and where you are in relation to where you should be at this time. And this is why I think it's very important to have projections. I have one for linear and one for exponential. They seem very similar, but months into the cut, they're actually going to deviate and look very different. And also, I compare myself to my competition from last year. That's 2015. And as you can tell, I'm doing better last year, both in terms of weight and in terms of speed of weight loss. So overall, guys, everything looks pretty good. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.